Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the van build. This is part 3. If you have not seen part 1 and 2, definitely recommend checking that out. You can look below for your links and definitely subscribe to see the finished out van after we are done. We're going to cover some really nice sound dampening and deadening material and how to use it and how to install it in this video. I'm also going to show you a sneak peek of my Dometic Ecki 2 huge skylight. I'm so looking forward to installing this and many more things in this video, so let's jump right into it. Kilmat and how to install it and what you might expect, especially with a van build, in my case for van life. So this is a 126 wheelbase Chevy van that I'm turning into a van life van. I have the Kilmat 80 mil right here, and this is supposed to only be about 36 square feet. If you get the 50 mil, it's going to have blue writing instead of this kind of maroon, and the maroon writing is 80 mil, blue writing is 50 mil. The blue 50 mil gives you about 50 square feet, where this is about 36 square feet. So I'm on my box number 2, and I got to about not even the halfway point, including the wheel wells and one back door back there. Now I'm going heavier than probably other people do. The reason why is because this is an older van, has a lot of hollowness to it, a lot of shakiness to it. I'm doing it proper for van life building. So with regards to that, if that is your issue, this is sticking beautifully to Rust-Oleum 2-in-1 reformer and sealer, and also factory paint as well. Just make sure you shop vac, and I actually have lint-free rags. I put some isopropyl alcohol on there, 91%. I clean it off. It evaporates super quickly, and then they stick on just beautifully. Now, definitely a tool. Get one of these right here. It makes rolling it on super simple. Also pay attention to the rivets. You will need a heat gun. Put it on low setting. A hairdryer will do it as well. These are easily cuttable as well with household scissors. That's what I had to do, some special cuts for around the wheel well. I still need to do this little section right here. But the heat gun, you know, not too long, just heat it up so it's nice and warm to the touch, and then grab your roller. And what I do is I roll it like this first if it's not a flat surface, so it gets nice and tight. And then I roll this up here. Now this is after the heat gun. I set the heat gun down, and we'll get a shot of me just doing one. Makes it a little bit simpler. Folks, we're going to be right back to the video, but I do want to thank today's sponsor, which is Manscaped. You're mostly familiar with them because of their Lawnmower 4.0. Besides their body hair trimmer, also have solid new products that I've been using for a while now. We have body wash right here, a nice big 16-ounce body wash daily shower gel, and this is their buff bundle with body wash. Has 2 body washes and a body buffer, which is really sweet. You have this kind of like, you know, what we're used to for the back of our phones here. You could put that between your fingers here. And then on this side, we have nice body scrubbing right there for exfoliation. Your back, chest, you get the idea there. That is rubberized and has a little hook right there where you can hang that up to dry in your shower. That again is the body buffer. And on top of that, great news, Manscaped is giving you guys 20% off whatever you purchase and free shipping when you use my direct link, which is in the description box, top link right below the video in the description box. Doesn't matter, whatever you order. The new buff bundle, crop mops for van life, is really nice, especially if you don't have a shower in your van. Chapstick I use every night. They have a ton of new products. So whatever you order, 20% off and free shipping when you use my direct link. That 20% will automatically be applied. Thank you so much to Manscaped for sponsoring this video, and enjoy your products. Okay, I'll try not to block your shot here, but they just peel off on the back like this. So this part is, you know, it's fairly sticky, but it gets even more stickier with the heat gun. I'm just wearing gloves because. And you could either go this way or this way, whatever you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and just go this way right here. And that's kind of our base. You don't even have to lay it down if you don't want to. Then I'm going to put it on heat gun on the low setting. I'll speed this up, but I'll do this for about 30 seconds or so, going back and forth all the way this. All right, so again, what the heat gun does is it kind of just makes it conform a little bit better. Now, here is my rivet right here, as we can see. So I'll start right here, and I'll just go like this. And my first one I actually rolled it this way. The problem is this roller cuts right into that, and you'll actually slit the foil portion of this. So I found this to be the most effective without cutting through it. And again, pick up one of these rollers. I mean, you can, if you really want to, put it down with your hand. The roller is just so simple. And then get right on the edge like that. And then come to the second, on the top part of the rivet on the top channel. And then I go through the bottom channel again, back up to the top channel. What this is doing, this is conforming it to the area. Then I'll go top channel, and then I'll roll this back channel back here. And then I'll go over it one more time, doing the exact same thing, starting it like this, going like this, coming back in the second channel, this, and then the bottom channel like that, making sure your edges are nice and smooth. And obviously I do that with a little bit more detail, getting nice and tight, and then making long rolls on the top little channel right here. And that is not going anywhere on you. That is down for the duration. Again, the heat gun conforms the channels, and I just found it easier to go this way instead of going this direction right here where there's just more rivets. I like to actually just kind of work this way, and then my next piece will go like in this channel, and I'll skip this. They don't have to be right together. Okay, now let me show you a hollow van door. And hopefully the sound will catch on camera here. So I'm going to go ahead and slam this one. Really loud, hollow sound right there. And then even opening it up, because all the sound is going through here. Now the back door, I actually reached through this little section that was already did. And I put like a half one here, and I think a half one down here. Now, not that thing right there. That's just the thing. Let me move this out of the way. Let me go ahead and give you a sound test. A lot more solid instead of that like hollowed out metal. And it's going to get even better than that. Obviously, it's still hollow right here. You add a little bit of insulation for your van life, you're good to go. This is going to help out with road noise. Definitely buy more than you're anticipating, because again, one box, 36 square feet. I wasn't even at the halfway point, almost there, including one back door like I already mentioned. But overall, it's a solid product, easy to put down. I'm happy with it. And I'm also going to be using it on the sides, but not going as close together as this. They'll be separated a little bit more apart. The roof though, I'm probably going to go a little bit more closer together on the roof like this here. These are just ones that aren't pressed down yet. And again, because it's an older van, I'm going to do it right. Might use more product than necessary, but I do definitely want a quiet van. Bottom here, there's a slight little lip. So what I just do, I take my glove. That's after obviously the heat gun. Give that bottom portion a little bit of a whirl. But for flat surfaces, so easy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, right now on our next step, we are going to be using Celsius. I don't think you pronounce it that way, but SILESS. This is a sound deadening mat with ThermoShield with a little bit of insulation in there, I believe, as well. The van builders like myself like this product. Now, what you see is not by the same company. They do offer a very similar one. This is Kilmat 80 mil. If you want to really deaden the sound in your car or vehicle, this is the added layer on top of the deadening sound foil mats right here. This is the second portion. I'm going to lay all the way to the front underneath where my feet are, the passenger feet, and all over the wheel wells as well. I won't be using this on the sides because this is a van build. I'll be doing insulation, but I probably will do it over the back doors and probably on my van slider door. The reason why is because I want a little bit of insulation, ThermoShield on that sliding door as well. I might do it on my driver and passenger door as well, where I can't put in insulation for my van build. So we got a nice big roll. This is your roll right here. This is supposed to cover 36 square feet. We'll of course be showing you this is your typical work van, low roof, 126-inch wheelbase. So this will give you an idea of how much we're going to use on it. We do have a little bit of give to it, obviously. Paper backing here. What's nice is it's in a good size roll here. As you can see, I have big hands, but as you can see here. So what we'll do is we'll probably start where it's nice and even so I don't have to make any weird cuts first, and then just start rolling this down. Before we do that though, we need to make sure there's no dirt and debris from my shoes that kicked up from my shop. So I might have to shop vac a little bit. Directions are stating use a little bit of a degreaser if for some reason you got some nastiness on the ground. I do have my roller from my mats here. This is probably going to be just fine. Or you can get out like a paint roller. that's a little bit wider. That might work as well. I'll see how this does. So let's tidy it up, make sure there's no dirt and debris around, and then we're gonna go ahead and start installing it. Do be careful in the groove sections here. Don't go this way. What you're actually going to do is you're actually going to get like a little tear because this thing is a little bit sharp. So you want to watch that. But overall, super easy to install. I did one straight sheet, unwrapped the paper, did about maybe 6 inches, wiped it down, and then rolled it back here, and then slowly pulled the paper away about maybe 1.5 feet at a time, wiping it down with my hand with a glove on, slowly pulling the paper back, getting to the edge here, take a utility knife, going like that. And again, about 1.5 feet section at a time, making sure it's nice and straight, matting it down. Super easy. The roller did take a little bit of time. This is harder to roll out all the air compared to a heat gun with this right here. But I like what I'm seeing. Again, double check your areas for any punctures that you might have done with the sharp roller. Tape them up if needs be. And we'll discuss what one roll looks like in a 126-inch wheelbase van. We'll see how much we can cover here. All right, so you don't have any gaps. I actually overlaid it just by a little bit. And when I'm talking about a little bit, I mean, I'm talking about just a little bit, maybe half a fingernail or so. Now I've come to a conclusion. So once you mat it down as you're bringing it backwards, go ahead and rub. Now these gloves aren't the best for this, but probably some mechanics gloves. Run it down like this before you use the roller, so it really seeps in the channels first. Then grab your roller, and what I do is I work on maybe like 3 feet at a time, and then I go this edge first, and then once I get up to like, let's say, that's 3 feet, then I go my top channel. Obviously this is a lot easier if there's no channels in your car, and then I go to the second channel and I run this down, same exact thing, top channel, this channel, top channel, this channel, top channel, and then down here. It is a little time consuming, but by the second row in this particular van, now I haven't gone all the way up front quite yet. I'm just right at about behind the passenger and driver's seats. I will run it up all the way. But as you can see here, this is rolled, this is all rolled, and then you can see this is not rolled because there's air in here like this. Now with this particular van, this is not gonna be perfect. There are some old holes that might be sucking in some air. I'm not exactly sure. I try to cover them up with this here. Not big holes, but just small screw holes from this used to be a work utility van. Overall, the process is going pretty smoothly. Just put on a podcast, put on some music. And what's nice is this does have a little bit of give to it, so it's easier on the knees than this hard metal and even this foil. So that is nice as well as you're working down the row. All right, let's go ahead and look at one box and see what it does for a 126-inch wheelbase van. As you can see here, now obviously this will get a little bit dirty from your shoes, but it'll mop up just fine with dust from your shop. So I've started here, rolled all the way down again right here. Not quite. I got probably an extra 1.5 feet before, like where the gym mat is, that's where the back of the seat would be right there. So that's just giving you a visualization. Pulling all the way back, I have one area right up here. That obviously is much easier to roll than these ridges, but that new technique I showed you where you just pop it with your hand. Again, do a slight rollover, in my opinion, especially if the rollover is in the groove, not up top. If you're trying to keep things super flat, obviously it'll compress, but the groove is better for putting it over just a little bit. Makes it look super clean. And so I'm glad I have another box because I still need to do this, still need to do both wheel wells, this little section over here, as well as the section over there by the wall, and all the way up passenger and driver foot areas as well. This is an older van. I'm going really nice and over the top, not to mention this will be my only insulation. I, of course, will be putting my subflooring and my flooring over it as well, but this is going to do a really nice job. So that's just an update for you after one box. So you'll probably need 2 if you're working on a van build. All right, folks, it has been several days now and we're holding really, really nicely. I did notice, let's see here, is that? No, that's actually really good. So there was a little bit, I think it was on the wheel wells back over here or over here on this side. A couple of my angles tacked up a little bit. Best thing to do, grab yourself some spray adhesive, spray it on there, hold it down for a few seconds, and that will get it nice and tacky if you do experience that, especially if you're doubling up or cutting specialty shapes to wrap around perfectly. I went a little overboard, especially in some of these corners, you know, right down through here, etc. But overall, it's holding really nicely, and I like what I'm seeing. Now, something to keep in mind, especially if you are doing this in a van build, see how you can still see some curvature right here. So just keep that in mind, especially for my floor area here. I actually had to put on, now a really good car mat would work, but I actually had this in the shop already from the previous owner. I think this is actually from Frontier Airlines. This is like airline carpet, really high durable stuff. And he had it in the shop, a little bit dusty from my shoes, but it cleans up really easily. And so what I did is, this stuff isn't very thick, but it's very sturdy. And so this will cover up the ridges that you see here, if you are wondering. Overall, a solid product in my opinion. All right, before I get too much further, I do want to give you an update, and sorry for the lighting. We'll try to get a little bit better shots here. So let me go ahead and just do a slow pano, and it's a little dark in the van due to the paint color, but here we have my original carpet, and I'll talk about this in just a second here. So we've wrapped the wheel wells, both of them here. I still need to do the back doors. Now let's head up front here. But I think what I'm gonna do is put a layer on top of this. The reason I went with this is more sturdy, where just the red one, you'd be able to slip in the ridges, as you can see here, and actually, oops, looks like my puppy has, with her front paws, have indented my mat here. That's okay. I'll just be careful of how she gets up in the van from now on. But unfortunately, this stuff doesn't go on like professional matting. You have to bend some shapes, make a couple of relief cuts, as you can see right here. I've actually used Loctite spray adhesive 300 heavy, and it's holding it down really nicely. I only had a few little areas where it came up just a little bit. I resprayed it, put like a little weight on top of it, good to go. But what that's doing is that's giving me a nice flat surface even on top of these ridges here. Most of your van builds, you won't have to deal with this, but because I had all that rust underneath, just giving you a little heads up on that. So I do need to finish this section right here and all down right here. And this is what it looks like with a floor mat. Now, this is not a stock G30 floor mat. I actually dumpster dive on the other channel, and I actually found brand new Ford F-150. Unfortunately, only one fits in the location, but I'm gonna play around with it and see what I can make it work. So as you can see, it's not the best with coming in, and I had to cut the shapes. You can see some lines here. I tried my best, but there's mixed reviews on the fabric dye from Duplicolor that it could flake off and become a mess. So what I think I'm gonna do, like I've already talked about, put the red thin one, spray adhesive that on, and that's gonna look better underneath black. I'm gonna keep these stock. I like them. I'm not gonna do anything about them unless I get some really nice slip covers that are black. But again, no harm, no foul. It did take quite a while to put this in for all the shapes going around the doghouse, and I actually went all the way underneath, and then I'll have wood, luxury vinyl planking behind this. And I'll spray paint this to match. I'll either do like a bed liner right here, or get maybe a really nice high-end vinyl rubber little insert right here. But I think I'm just going to do like a bed liner type of a texture right down here and here on the side. Black that out real nicely. I am going to be dyeing my dash with Duplicolor, same as I did for the doghouse and all the other trim work I'm working on right now. I also repainted the pedestals for the seats. Here's my big roll of carpet right here. There's the passenger seat right there. And it was crazy. You'd be very surprised the things I find dumpster diving. These are brand new. I just opened up the package. 2021 F-150 4-door mats, which I put out of the way somewhere around here. Anyway, here's the red carpet a little bit more up close. Again, a little bit thinner and foldable, so I should be able to fold these into shapes a little bit better, and I'll just spray adhesive this on top of that carpet there. I think is going to look really nice. I also bought myself a swivel seat, which this is made for a Chevy Express van, so one hole on each side doesn't line up, so I'm going to have to, it's just a simple drill. I'm going to drill one hole on each side I couldn't find one for the G vans. Just like other van videos, that's going to go on top of the pedestal, and then the seat goes on top, and that'll be able to swivel the passenger seat around, which is going to be awesome. If you are wondering, I'm very happy with the Kilmat. It actually deadens the sound quite a bit. This used to be super hollow. I put it on the inside, as you can see here. I did that on both sides. If you have access to this, definitely put it on the inside as well. And then of course on the outside. And it just even sounds better. Sounds better on the outside. Hear that? It doesn't sound like hollow metal. If you're hearing anything, it's this keyhole that's kind of bobbing around a little bit. But if you want to build your van now and you have the means to do it, definitely do it right. Doors, and then put your wood paneling on top of that. Again, not necessary for your sides. Kilmat, yes, but not the Silas extra layer. You can if you really want to, but I'm not going. I'm going to do just Kilmat, and we'll show you that as I progress down. And then I'm going to use my insulation right over here. That is the non-fiberglass insulation, so we're going to get into that. Let's look at the driver's side door a little bit closer here, and I'm going to show you what I did to the passenger, and now I'm working on the driver's side. So I've taken some Kilmat, and it's a little trickier, but try your best to get your heat gun in there and roll it. If not, put on a glove and mat it down. So I have a full sheet right here, a cut sheet right through here, and then a couple squares from that cut sheet right here and here. So that's a total of 2 sheets on the inside of the door here. Now I'm going to go ahead and pack insulation. This is again is mineral wool. Obviously I'm going to pack it down in the crevices down there, as not to interfere with the window. But before we do that, because we can't fill insulation all the way up, I am gonna get, all right, just a little heads up for you van builders, it depends on what warehouse it does come from. I've done pretty much all of it. This should be the last roll I need, and I've used a lot of this stuff. Think I'm on like box number 4, but I've done the back doors like we've already discussed underneath, the subflooring all the way up the wheel wells, these wheel wells. Anyway, what I just noticed is this brand new one that has just come. Again, this is like the number 5, I think, or number 4 of this. So this one is one of my older ones, and lo and behold, right here on the side, it says made in Russia. And over here, it says 36 square feet, 1516 by 342.91. But this new one, immediately I noticed, number one, the backing looks like it's even cheaper print on the backing of this particular one, but then on the actual foam side, some people might like this if it is showing, but there's no print on here, not like the one made in Russia where you actually have the logo all over it, as you can see right here. Now, something else I noticed, it's supposed to be the same thickness. It could be, but with the naked eye on camera, it actually looks like it is. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a measuring tape. It's either right on the dot. It actually kind of looks like it's a little bit smaller, but it's probably right on the dot. Maybe I'm tripping, I don't know. If I had to choose, I prefer the one made in Russia over the one made in China. So just letting you know, if you do order the Silas Sound Deadener and Therma Shield, that I do highly recommend, I just don't know if the Chinese one is superior or equal to the one made in Russia. Now let me just show you this here. So this one says 15.75, 334.65, 36.50 square feet, but then one made in Russia is 342.91 inches. So something fishy going on. Okay, so we put that on the interior portion of the door here, the Silas, and not all the way, because I can't actually fit insulation because the window only goes up right here. So all this area down here, I can stack up around the door handle area and put some nice insulation in there, as well as behind the window area over here. And if you are wondering, the R15 mineral wool is mold resistant. So yes, water will get in here. Obviously it is a window, so it probably will drip in there a little bit. I don't see this getting soaked at all, but we've packed it on the edges and it is mold resistant, which is nice. Now I'm gonna go grab my handle, making sure the window can properly go up and down. And if possible, I'll put a very thin wall of mineral wool up the side here in between the door, but I don't think so. We'll see. Alrighty, in summary, what we did to both driver and passenger side doors. Obviously, this is an older work van. Super easy to get behind the metal to do this. Your newer vans, it's going to be a little trickier. Anywho, I actually painted the armrest as well as my handles. They're just temporarily on there right now. Satin Rust-Oleum black instead of ugly old chrome. I've put Kilmat over the top of this. And so like we already saw, there's Kilmat on the inside, the Silis, insulation down in the bottom here, all the way up the side over here, not affecting the window. Then I put back on my panel right here, more Kilmat on this side. And then of course, we're gonna do some really nice wood panels that I'm gonna black out because this is gonna be a dark build. And so that's gonna look really sharp. That's coming up. Let me show you a little bit of this and then we're gonna go to the back. So this is again Duplicolor, and this has done a really fantastic job, but you need multiple coats and you need to do very light coats to build up, and it looks sharp if you do it right. I still need to do this side and this side. I just couldn't figure out how to take off the entire dash, but all of the main area right here is all Duplicolor. Just need to clean it up a little bit of dust on there. But this, compared to the stock color, much, much better. And so like I said, I've already done all the trim pieces here. We'll do this, we'll tape it off and do it right. This is coming up in the next video here. This is an Android car stereo, really cool. I've also Duplicolored my sun visors. We still need to get a new windshield eventually, it is cracked. And this is a solar reverse camera. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this in here full time. I do like it because there's a camera, a wireless one up front and in the back. I'll go ahead and keep you updated in the next video about that. So the passenger, same exact method I just described on the driver's side, on the passenger side. A little bit dirty right now, but we do have a car mat over here, which is a little bit dirty as well. We got the red carpet over the green carpet, and the pedestals are looking beautiful after I grinded all the rust off of them. Treated that with 2-in-1 rust reformer and sealer, and then painted them Rust-Oleum satin over the top. Those look sharp on these stock. Actually, these are not stock. The previous owner reupholstered these. I also did everything. This is satin black Rust-Oleum. This was ugly brown. I painted that, all the trim pieces as well. I've put Kilmat over the passenger and driver's side area right there as well. And then I will be, of course, putting a little bit of framework and insulation, but I don't want to drop my roof too much. So you're gonna have to stay tuned for what I'm gonna do there. I also painted the seat belt plastic, so anything brown besides the seat has all been painted black. And as you can see here, the carpet, red carpet drops down here. Again, we'll be doing a rhino liner or something like that for this step area here. Anyway, check this out. Watch how solid this door sounds compared to how it used to be hollow and nasty. Just a solid boom. I love it. Absolutely stunning. Even when you open it up, you don't get this hollow, nasty sound. Just a solid van door. Now, I will be blacking this out. I will be blacking out the side mirrors as well. Okay, coming back to the back doors now. If I didn't make it clear, Kilmat underneath, Silis on top of that. And because these are hollowed out doors without any new mechanisms or anything like that, I've literally filled it all the way up with mineral wool insulation. And same method applies to the front and passenger doors. I'm going to be doing a wood trim overlay with this, painting it black. Gonna have to stay tuned for that. Coming over here to this door, same method applies. If you do not have access holes like I did, and I did Kilmat on the interior portion, we saw that in the video, because there's access holes. I did not do Silis on top of the inner portion Kilmat because obviously the insulation, I was able to really stack that up. That whole entire door is full of mineral wool insulation. Coming over here, again, now we have Kilmat, and sorry for the dark lighting, we have Kilmat all around the sides. Notice the gaps, still tight, but as you can see here, those are wider panels. So obviously there's 1 whole sheet, 2 whole sheets, 3 whole sheets, 4 whole sheets, and then a 5th one cut up around the area here. That might be a little overkill. That's about 90% coverage, I want to say. You could probably get away with 70% coverage. I'll leave that up to you. As you can see here, the smaller gaps may come down here, but it sounds just nicely. Now, again, this is an older van, So there's still some rattles. I need to figure out where the rattles are coming from. Probably this broken hinge, but something's rattling still in the back. I got to figure out where that's coming from. As you can see, this side, Kilmat all over the sides. Kilmat and Silas on the side passenger van door. This right here is the Russian product, and this is the Chinese product. If anybody from Silas is watching, I would go back to your Russian manufacturer. I just personally like the Russian product a little bit better. Because there's mechanisms in this door, I'm not going to add insulation. I mean, I potentially could, but it's pretty hard, and I couldn't really reach in there and do Silas or Kilmat. I put a few small little pieces of Silas there, but I did Kilmat underneath what you're looking at, and then the Silas over the top. So that's completely nice and sound dampening as well. I have not done the roof yet with anything because I'm going to be putting my Max Air fan in this location right here, as well as my Dominic Hecky 2 skylight back here. So I have not done the roof with anything yet, no Kilmat, except for the front portion, because I didn't want to do any Kilmat and then have to cut out the Kilmat. And the skylight is so large, it's going to take up most of the back portion of my van there. Of course, we already wrapped the wheels, and I did both the back and the front wheels, if you are wondering. And if it wasn't clear, I ran Kilmat and Silas all the way up underneath the carpet on both the passenger and driver side here. Most of you van builders in newer vans, you won't have access to that because your van is spotless. But again, I tore everything up because of that rust underneath. So in that case, just run it up behind your pedestal seats, passenger and driver side here. So yes, I used a lot of Kilmat. I used a lot of Silas. I think 4 boxes minimum, I think, for this job each. And that does add up in price, especially if you put it together as close as I did. And of course, underneath the subflooring, we have that as well. Now, let's talk about the subflooring. Okay, so for the subflooring, this was actually the old subflooring in the van they already had in here. I was going to do all new subflooring, but I was like, you know what? It's not that bad, so let me just use the old one. Sure, it's not the best ends, but you know what though? I sanded it. I put some polyurethane on some of the portions. It was a little bit, the wood was a little warped. No mold or anything, just kind of like old wood. So I sanded it with a palm sander on all the edges and then put a little polyurethane on some portions that just needed a little bit of sprucing. That was on both sides. So I took it outside, palm sanded everything on the front and back. That was a little time consuming. These are cut in small sections, especially for some of these areas here. And so instead of trying to do all that again, they already had it pretty dialed in. So I'm just going to keep this. Some people, what they actually do is they countersink some bolts and screw it in so you don't have many screw holes and you don't have screws down into the frame. This van already had screw holes in this wood into the van. So what I'm going to actually try to do is just screw that back down through those holes, or I might countersink some bolts. I'll let you know in the next video about that and how I'm going to treat the underside regardless. This is pretty thick plywood. I'm not exactly sure the dimensions on it, but it's pretty thick stuff and I do like it. You're wondering, Chris, that's not enough insulation on the bottom. I understand that, especially if you're going to be doing this for a ski van life van. I am totally fine with this. Some people actually, what they do, this is my puppy Bria. She wants to jump up here, say hello. Some people after the Kilmat, I know, baby, I know, I need to give you attention. Some people, what they do is after the Kilmat is then what they do is they actually frame out, you know, not too much, but frame out some like 1x2s cut down or something like that, and then lay insulation in the frame of that and then put their subflooring on top and screwing that in. But I've actually watched a lot of other van life builds, and one that I'm kind of copying after their design is from Lewis the Van, that YouTube channel. And this is exactly what they do. They do Kilmat, Silas, subflooring, screw that in, and then luxury vinyl planks on top of that. That's what I'm planning on doing. So definitely subscribe because we will be framing this out, putting in the Max Air fan, Dominic Hecky 2. We got some beautiful steps ahead of us, so definitely subscribe. Also hit that thumbs up button if you wouldn't mind on your way out. Helps the channel and the YouTube algorithm. algorithm. Look in the description box for your links. I will have tools, I will have the Kilmat, the Silas, all that will be linked in the description box below. I know this is a long video, but sometimes I do wish van build videos would go in a little bit more in the depth why they specifically used a product, and hopefully this video has helped you. Stay tuned for part 4. We'll see you on the next one. Also, thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Don't let the party stop, guys. Hit one of these videos, continue to watch, and we'll see you soon.